Hi and welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Jolanda and I'm coming to you from the east of the Netherlands. I'm so glad you're here, and if you're new, I'm so glad you found me. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Jolanda Loves Yarn, and there is a Ko-Fi account for this podcast, and it's all linked below. It will be my knitting podcast. This will be a weekly episode where I talk about what I have been up to the last week, craft-wise, mostly knitting, some crochet, once in a while a little bit of cross stitch or an embroidery or weaving or spinning, all the craft related things. There's also a list down below that will mention some of the smaller podcasts I really enjoy watching. Hopefully you find it inspirational and maybe you would like to follow any of them. There's no particular order, it's just a list that comes up as I browse the internet. So, shall we talk about the elephant in the room, the sweater I just finished? I have a few finished objects today. They're all sweaters and wonderful, wonderful. So happy. So the one I'm wearing is a very warm one and oversized, and it is the Enjoy Flowers from Knitting for Breakfast. I knitted it in a substituted yarn and it held a double. It's an unknown brand, mohair acrylic blend. And I think the neckline is a little bit wide. I like to do something about that. The whole sweater is oversized, as I said before. It is not really my comfort as I would like to wear. It's not. It is a bit oversized for me, but it is really warm, cozy. It is not like it's baggy. The sleeves are too long. It is well fitted, but just very oversized, and that is just my error because I substituted yarn. I should have swatched better and all that. The pink and the taupe colored yarn are not the same, so there's also a little bit of variation in thickness there. But overall, I think it is wonderful. It's lovely. I think it suits me well. I tried on some other colors that's supposed to suit me well, but I don't know. I just gravitate to pink and I really like that. So that's just my personal preference. I changed it is a short sleeve tee originally. I made it in long sleeves. I did not do any decreases. It's just at the end I decreased. I knitted it straight. In the end, I decreased 13 stitches, and I changed needle sizes to get the ribbing to cinch in the bottom edge. I made it into these. How do you call this? Is this? I don't think this is a picot edge, but you fold it over and it has little scallops, little tools. I don't know the name. If you know the names, then please tell me because I have been struggling since the moment I made it. But it is folded over and I just sew it down on the inside, and that gives it a straight line, not because it's oversized. If it cinches in at the bottom, I think you catch such a puffy look. I was not looking for that. So my first finished object, and I'm very happy looking at it and wearing it. It is very soft and warm, and that's great. I have two more. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Um, this is the Old Town sweater, and I spoke about last time. I blocked it and I took some photographs and some video footage, and it was amazing. The sleeves indeed lengthened quite a lot, and that was perfect. It's just perfect right now. So this is a crocheted sweater, the Old Town by MJ Off the Hook, and the pictures I took, I think the white sweater, the white long sleeve is not looking that great underneath. I also have a green long sleeve. I will try that on and I'll probably wear it next week so you can see a bit more clearly how it is supposed to look. But I'm very happy with it, and I must say a lot of yarn has gone out of my stash this week because I finished a lot of objects. I will talk probably about it a little bit later and do the complete update about everything I knitted. There is a small detail that I think could have been improved in the sweater fit, and that is the little bit of extra fabric that is here just at the underarm. But I mean, it is a very fitted sweater, and crochet is also quite difficult to get the drape right. So overall, I'm very happy with this. And I think that it is more drapey than before. It feels way softer. It is more relaxed after blocking. I just wash it in my washing machine on the delicate cycle with wool wash. And I will lay it on the drying rack and let it just dry. I will not pin it or anything. If there is a neckline that I think is a little bit too tight, I will definitely pin it and stretch it out a little bit. It usually helps a lot. So as I talked about last time, how I changed the neckline, it looks really great at the moment. So you probably saw it at the footage I just showed you, that it is really to my liking, and I think it turned out wonderful, and I'm very pleased with it. I think this would also be great if you use it in a mohair yarn, because mohair is so much thinner and it's still voluminous. So you don't get the stiffness that you get with a wool yarn. So it would be more drapey. I would definitely be interested in knitting one like that. That's a great idea, actually. I would like to try that also. It's very crochet grows really quickly. There's nothing difficult about this whole pattern. It's just double crochet and chains. So even a beginner can do it. And her video tutorials on YouTube really show step by step how to make this lovely sweater. So it is this old town from MJ off the hook, if I did not say that, because my brain is foggy, as usual. All right, another finished object. It feels like a finished object parade. I've been wearing this week, and I absolutely love it. It's again an oversized sweater, but not that oversized. It actually fits very well. It wears comfortably. I don't have to pull it, the neck, or I mean, you sometimes you have to constantly adjust your sweater, at least if you didn't do it right. But it happens, right? We're all humans and we're knitters. Something can go wrong. And that was not the case with this sweater. It's pullover number 2 from QQ Yarn Over. I've talked about her a few times. And if you're new here, there's a coupon code from her as a designer. She is a beginner designer and she tries to support herself and her child. She's a single mother, and she gives us a very generous coupon code. And the coupon code is down below. It will give you 50% discount. Yes, we're not talking Dutch here. We're having a 50% discount and a 30% discount. And maybe you're tired of hearing it, but I want to make sure everybody who wants to take advantage of this will be able to. So the coupon code is valid until the end of this year. So you have plenty of time, and she is coming out with a lot more patterns. I see her going like crazy. Like she said, she had a real bad year last year. She did not she barely knitted because of her emotional problems. And this year she is really going for it. I have seen a lot of her patterns show up, new patterns, and yeah, they're looking great. So yeah, this is the pullover number 2 I chose for an easy pattern, a quick knit on large needles. I held drops north together with a mohair, which actually is the same as this one. So I bought that on the Temu website. And yeah, it is one of the simple sweaters you probably wear a lot, because it's so cozy and it fits with everything. It has a lovely raglan details. It doesn't show up that great in this yarn, but still you can see it. It is a little braid made out of cables. So again, nice and comfortable sleeves, white ribbing. I love those aspects of a sweater. I like a little bit of a wider ribbing. Um, I had a little yarn over, not a lot, but I think the last time I showed it to you, I forgot to tell you I showed it quite a lot, because there is something about the ratio of the body and how it is divided, which looks just better. It might feel comfortable to hide your bum behind a sweater, but usually visually it looks better if it is a little bit shorter. I think it's 1/3 of your, I'm not sure, there's a lot to be found about um, the ratio of the sweater and where it should land on your body for a visual um, better look. Doesn't mean you feel comfortable with it, but I was quite conscious of it. I learned a lot in my last test knit from Ina's Knitting Lab. She explained a lot about that, and I think as me, for personally for me, it doesn't really matter if the sweater is 5 centimeters longer or shorter for the wearing experience, but if it is looking better, then I will gladly make a little adaptation. So I frogged quite a lot and then I added the ribbing, and I think it looks a lot better if it is not over the hip length, for me at least. That's a personal thing. So I am very happy. I have 3 beautiful sweaters now. I don't really have room to put them, but I will definitely make some space. And yeah, QQ Yarn Over is the designer of Pullover number 2. All right. So I am so very pleased with finishing this all. And I, of course, started a new sweater. There was already a big plan last week. It was very hard to not cast on, but I can restrain myself because I really wanted to finish these first. And there were tiny little details that needed to be fixed, and I wanted to do that first before I go on to my next project. I did in between mend a few socks, which will go on my bingo card of goals for this year. So I mended so far 2 pairs of socks. I think 2 pairs. This one was just a small mend, just a little hole under the foot at the toe. The rest is not in the best shape, but I think he can wear it for at least a few more months. And if it completely falls apart, then it's fine too. I think there is 1 or 2 more pairs left I have to do, but I looked at those and there were both, the whole sole was like very paper thin. So I have to do a lot of work on that, but I think it helps me. I have the bingo card as a reference, so I can look up what I should be doing instead of just sitting around. And I actually made quite a plan the past week. I still don't feel too great, and I have a lot of emotional, mental problems, and I get stuck in a loop. And I definitely will pick up my knitting and just knit mindlessly, but that's kind of what I wanted to avoid this year, because there's a lot of mindless stuff, and I want to be more conscious of what I'm doing, not the autopilot, you know. So I came up with a strategy. I dug out my cozy memories blanket. It is a different. I chose a different one. It's not. This is not, I mean, it is the pattern, but somebody else wrote it. So you can find it in my Ravelry page for sure. It is all linked down below. But what I wanted to say is I don't even know where I put it. Oh, it's on this side. Okay. Just disappeared for a little bit. This is old. And I have I did not have a plan when I started this. And the colors are very bright, and this is not me at the moment. I mean, this is not me in my new, this is not my new me, but that's okay. I um, I will add a square every day. And it's also one of my goals for this year. I put on my bingo card, I want to use up some of my leftovers, and this is the perfect project for it. So the ones I added was this dark red one and these few on the side. So every morning I pick out my basket of leftovers. I will choose a color that is somewhat looking alright, and then I will just add it. It will just be a crazy colored blanket, but that doesn't really matter because it will definitely keep us warm. And yes, I had most of my life, I didn't have a plan about any colors. I just wore the colors I loved. And I'm not even sure if that was the case because I always gravitated to the pink, but I thought that was not my color. I thought you needed to wear dual tones. It sounds a bit needed. I did not need it, but I definitely thought that was the color schemes with my dark hair I had. And well, after I did the color analysis course, there's something else showed up, and yeah, I feel I'm always insecure about everything in my life, about how I show up and I'm not obsessed how I look, but if you feel a little bit better, that is very helpful. So I try to look for a balance in that. And yeah, it was very eye-opening to see colors put on to yourself. I always thought the silver and the white, but I'm not sure. I probably have a distorted view of myself. I don't know, because I really thought that looks good. But when you sit in front of a mirror and somebody's showing them side by side, you suddenly see that how distorted my view was, because the total opposite was the case. I am not a cool toned person. I really need warm colors to make my skin glow. So very interesting experience, really. So yes, but I don't have to wear this, which is great news. But I will definitely have it here, and the mornings are still very cool. We have still cool nights, and before the house is warm, it takes a bit. So it's very nice to sit under here. And yeah, I think it is a wonderful project, and it is still very popular amongst many. So it doesn't all have to be planned out perfectly. Sometimes just going with it is also very enjoyable. So yes, every morning, first thing I do is I will put a square in my blanket. It will take an hour, maybe a little longer, but I'm not sure if I can keep up with it, but I'm going to try. And the next thing I heard at Angela from Yarn and Yarns, also a cat who knits, free Finnish knitting stories. I heard her talk about doing the same. The spinning is going. Uh, we forget about it, and it's such an enjoyable thing to do. It's very relaxing, the whole motion and the sound of the spinning wheel. Even though I use an electric spinner, it is very comforting. And yeah, I have a bag of fiber standing here for the longest time. And yeah, I am on the same path as they are. I will set a timer for 15 minutes, and I will spin 15 minutes every day. And it's just lovely. I'm not sure if I took any footage or maybe a picture. If I did, I will put it in here, and otherwise I will show it next time, because I think I have plenty of things to talk about today. So spinning, yes, I wanted to pick that up. It's almost my last fiber. I think I have maybe 500 grams left of undyed Finnish wool and Icelandic wool. It's the rough kind. I wanted to try that out, and I think it's very warm, and it's also very light, like the Holskarn. I'm so surprised how light those fibers are. Excuse me. All right. The finished objects are we've all talked about them, but I have, of course, a few works in progress. And one of them is the Flower Power by Anna Johanna, and I have been working on that a lot. Like I said, I had a lot of need for mindless knit. So last time I showed it to you, I was about 6 rows away for finishing the yoke. So I did divide it for the sleeves. I took a few pictures. I think it is looking great. I think it is fitting great, and I'm very happy with it. I think the body is a bit more oversized than I expected. So I am doing a few decreases for a little bit of waist shaping, just for the visual look. It's stitching in a little bit. And now I will start the increases again. So it will not be such a straight blob. I think that would quite nice. It's still quite oversized, but I think it's okay. It's a vest. It's a cardigan. We Dutch say vest, but it's not a vest. It's a cardigan, and yeah, I am quite far actually. I'm not sure how much further I need to go. I will definitely try to keep it the length I am thinking about. So yes, you can see it's completely the main color turned from white, the cream, and then slowly in the flowers more and more gray was added, and now I am totally in the gray. The sleeves will go the same way, but the ribbing will probably, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm quite sure the ribbing will all have the white and the gray. I think I have plenty of yarn, to be honest. This is knitted in Drops Charisma, which is 100% wool. I love it. I really like the yarn. It's super affordable, but this was all in my stash. I substituted the pink for a silk mohair. I held triple, which was very thin, and it will be steeked. So what I have suddenly noticed is just that this motif is not centered. It's quite curious. I mean, it became a whole motif on both sides of the opening from the cardigan. But yeah, I just suddenly noticed that and I thought, I'm not sure I am so pleased with that choice. But obviously on the top it looks better. Well, I'm not sure. I think the motifs are shifting and that is just the designer's choice. She chose to do it like this. Yeah, well, I probably won't see it myself because if you wear it, you can't see it. But it just showed up and I thought, that's kind of annoys me. But yeah, there are a lot of sizes and that is just how it goes. So I'm very pleased with this and yeah, I think it's absolutely lovely. And it's just a very mindless knit at the moment and yeah, goes quickly. Just I think I knit a ball a day. It's 50 grams balls, 100 meters. And last night I thought, oh dear, there's another ball gone. I just ran out of yarn, so I just put it away and thought, okay. I am still knitting on the sock tube I decided to do every month. I am so failing, but here and there I just squeeze in a row or two because the sock knitting mojo is just absolutely not there. It's below zero for sure. So I think the last thing is my new cast on, and you can probably guess what it is. Yes, it's the Dragonfly sweater from Eleanor Mortensen. And I just so love that sweater. And I just figured out all the colors and then I started knitting and suddenly I changed my mind. I don't know why. I hope I will not regret it. It will be a labor of love. It will be taking me forever. But every time I pick it up, I tell myself this is not a race. I don't need any sweaters. I will do it slowly, I will do it mindfully, and I will take care that I will do it in the floats will stay loose enough. So I will not end up with a sweater where I can't move in. So I did not do much, but I did do some because there are a zillion stitches on a larger size. And I should have put on some needle stoppers. So I am working with the Holst garn and I chose to start with the daffodil color. I think that's the color. Oh, let's not throw anything on the floor. Let me see how I can show it because I decided to make it difficult and work with 3 colors at a time at some point because her original pattern is just the whole motif is one color. The background will shift because it is a fade. I will not do that, but I will try to make the flowers, the leaves and the dragonfly different colors. So the first motif look like the buttercups, I think that's how you call them. And I am still contemplating, maybe I will do the centers. I will do some French knots. I think that would be look nice and give it a little bit of texture. So I have started with the green for the leaves, and here is the tail of the dragonfly. But last night I could not see the difference of the yarn, the colors. It was just not visible. So there will be very low contrast on the leaves. I already know that because I couldn't even see it in artificial light. So, but I think it's looking okay. I mean, I hope it's better than okay, to be honest, but it's hard to see. I think the this will definitely have a nice contrast because we can very closely, very obviously see the flowers. So yes, there were quite a lot of increases already at the neckline and just after, which is great news for me because I need a lot of room right at the beginning already. My shoulders are very straight, and then yeah, then you get into trouble if the increases are starting too late. I can only imagine. I see often that people complain about how ruffled it is just below the neckline, that there are too much increases. I can totally see um, the problem, how that happens, because if you have sloped shoulders, you don't have room for, I mean, you don't have something to put in all that fabric. For me, I have a lot of body to put in to cover that fabric. If you have small shoulders, narrow shoulders, I can totally see how this is starting to buckle, bubble, ruffle, and I see how that is very annoying. It's annoying both ways, but I think it's quite difficult with the yoke sweaters to compromise on what your body shape is. I think it's quite difficult, and you can go for the oversized, but you will still have the ruffles from the extra increases because you simply have nothing to put there. So yeah, certainly it kind of makes sense, and yeah, I think that's the thing. There are people that definitely avoid the yoked sweaters for that whole reason, but they are so pretty, and it, I made some colourwork sweaters with raglan, but it just is a completely different look, isn't it? Because you really don't get the flow that you get in a yoke sweater. But I was at a point and I thought maybe I should just avoid them. But we're never too old to learn, and I definitely learned some new things and some insights on what makes for a problem. And maybe you cannot avoid it, but maybe you can choose another pattern, but that shows there are more increases. Or yeah, I'm not sure if the bigger size will help. If there is just, I don't know, that it's the rate of the increases that gives you the shape of the sweater. Of course, you can go 3 sizes bigger, but I don't think the then it looks just really off. That's just what I think. But I'm not a designer. I don't really know, but I just that's just what I learned from knitting for a very long time. But it's only the last since Ravelry, I think. That's and the internet, of course. When I grew up, there was no internet. We went to the store called Hema, and that's where I bought the yearly book and I knitted from there. It was mostly seamed patterns. It were, yeah, nothing like this existed even, I think. I don't know. I never came across. Um, yeah, I knitted mostly with acrylic because wool yarn, it was not really a thing. I would not even know, yeah, later on when I bought my own yarn, maybe I went to a bigger store. There was a yarn store where I lived, but that was way, way, way later. So yeah, but I always enjoyed it. It started really, really early. I have some pictures of it sitting on my father's lap. He needed to break my yarn because I didn't have the strength. It was invisible what I was knitting. It was, he always called it a knoedeltje. I mean, it was a little noodle thing. It didn't look like anything, but I was always trying with my knitting needles to create something. And I am a left-handed knitter, and my mom is not. Nobody in the family was not. There was no YouTube, so I had to figure it out. And I figured it out for sure, and I'm still here knitting, and I enjoy it every day and every stitch. I could not imagine doing it without. So this is a whole new era of YouTube and meeting people from all over the world with the same interest. It is amazing. It's beyond anything I can express myself. It's so wonderful and great, and it opens up a whole new world, especially if you're more an at-home person. Either you're an introvert or you have physical limitations, then you still feel like you're part of a community. And I just, yeah, I absolutely love it. I enjoy it every day, and I enjoy every like, comment, or subscription. It means the world to me. So thank you so very much for the people who started following me or found me through another channel. Yeah, it's just absolutely great. I thought a lot of maybe I should stop, because I have been doing this for such a long time. And yeah, well, it's a human nature. You want to grow, and I'm not sure that is happening. And maybe that was my expectation, or maybe I don't know. I have a very smart young, now not young, he's getting older, but he's a very smart child of mine, who often says, "Mom, why are you doing this?" I says, "Because I want to share what I'm doing. If I can't share what I'm doing because I'm mostly at home, I have no friends that knit, then maybe my knitting would not be as pleasurable. Maybe I feel like, well, what's the point? I'm not sure. I do it because I love it, but sharing it makes it triple the joy. So I'm not sure. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will keep going because I will miss it every week. And there are many, many times like today, I wish I just could crawl back into bed and not talk to anybody and forget about knitting and forget about the world. But I pulled myself together, and I am so happy I did. This is the best thing to do, to keep going and keep smiling and keep enjoying what is being made. And we all have struggles, and it doesn't matter if you're here in Europe or if you are in America or if you are in Asia. There are always troubles. They might be big or small, but we all have to deal with them, and we will show up. We will just show up and be proud of our knitting and be happy in that little beautiful bubble that we call yarn, right? So I was not planning to talk about this, but I will speak from my heart. That's just how I am. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you had something interesting, or you got motivated, and hopefully you got inspired. So I will show up here every week, and hopefully you will be here too. So I'm sending you all my good wishes and happy yarn adventures from the Netherlands to all of you, my friends all over the world. So happy knitting. Try not to stress too much. Stay motivated and keep smiling. Until next week, I love you all. Bye bye.